were given opportunities in the way I eventually was, they too can work towards making Britain their true home and a country of which they will be proud. My mum always told me and my 5 siblings that education would be our passport to a better life, that our achievements would contribute to a better world and make a difference. We have all been successful in our chosen careers, and I strongly believe that our own children will use their education to the same effect. It has been rewarding for me to know that telling my story in coming to England has in some small way helped people to find their identity, to discover their history and where they came from, and to feel proud of themselves. Chapter 1. Life in Trinidad. The day my brother Ellington was born, my elder sister Sandra, who was 4, my brother Lester, who was 2, and I, aged 3, were all out on the gallery. That's what we call the veranda. My mother, whom we affectionately named Marmee, had told us that if we looked hard enough, we would see a stork flying high in the sky with our new baby. I was hungry and really wanted Marmee to make one of her delicious soups for us, but I dare not take my eyes off the sky, just in case I missed the big arrival. Anyway, Mrs. Jackson, the local midwife who lived in the lane opposite our house, said we couldn't come into the house to see my mother until she called us. I was beginning to feel more and more hungry, tired and anxious, but I still kept my eyes glued to the heavens. Suddenly, I heard the loud cry of a newborn baby. I felt happy, but disappointed at the same time, because I hadn't seen the stork arrive. My mother told us it had come through the back door. I looked for it years later when my brother Roy and sister Cynthia arrived. Mrs. Jackson was always there, but I never spotted that elusive stork coming through the front or the back door. The house we lived in was a small wooden building on stilts with dazzling whitewashed walls. There were windows and doors at the front and the back. We had 2 bedrooms, which were the scene of many pillow fights and trampolining sessions, a small washroom with a sink and coal tap, an airy kitchen with a large glassless louvered window where we also ate all our meals, and finally a sitting room where no one was allowed except on special occasions or when we had visitors. This room was my mother's pride and joy. Its brilliant white curtains always smelt fresh, and the mahogany furniture was always highly polished, as was the wooden floor. My sister and I spent many hours polishing and shining that room from as far back as I can remember. We had to do the polishing before we left for school each day. The comfortable wooden chairs in the room were draped with crisp white lace headrests, and the round table, which we ate from on Sundays and other special occasions, had a doily in its centre, on which sat a vase of glorious fresh flowers. These were from our small front garden, which was full of exotic, sweet-smelling flowers and shrubs, such as beautiful flame-red hibiscus, which seemed to attract swarms of exquisite butterflies and hovering hummingbirds in search of nectar. The backyard was where Marmee grew vegetables for our kitchen, like pigeon peas, cassava, okras, and dasheen. A tall bushy tree stood in the yard, reaching up to the kitchen window, and whenever one of us had a bad cold, Marmee would pick some of the leaves, boil them, and give us the vile-tasting liquid to drink. It always made us better. I guess the thought of a second dose was enough to do the trick. Also in the yard was the galvanized shower unit where we had our baths. There was no hot tap, but the cold water was always